Welcome to Vox Scream, a kill team podcast where we aim to help players of all skill levels supercharge their game and separate the signal from the noise. I'm Mark Meyer, joined by kill team heavyweights George Pratt and Joe Gallo. We're coming to you from the Triangle region in North Carolina. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. What's up, what's up? Welcome back to Vox Scream, everyone. Joined as always by Joe Gallo, George Pratt. What up, what up?
What's up?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, yes, yes.
Sneaksy man things, yes.
Yes, precious. Okay, so we're going to talk about Xenos today. We're going to take on the task of trying to pick out the best 3 Xenos teams. And I was excited for this episode because I like a lot of the Xenos teams. And when we were going to do like the sort of larger super faction reviews, we've got 9 Xenos teams in the game right now. But that aside, I think that we can, pretty easily pick out the top 3. It's Hive Fleet, Hunter Cadre, and Farstalker Kinbane. All right, so
All right, episode
easy.
over.
Done.
Good job, guys.
Woo!
But all jokings aside, it is actually quite difficult to figure out what like the top 3 are. Like I think maybe the top 2 you could argue is relatively easy to figure out, but all of them are all so like good in comparison to each other and the rest of the teams in the game.
I think it's more easy to pick the bottom 3 of the Xenos teams.
Yeah, probably.
I think right now it would probably be Vespids, Farstalkers, and Pathfinders. All of the Tau teams.
I would say that. I would say like the only teams that are like bad amongst those is Pathfinders. I really think Vespids and Kroot have good play. I think Vespids are like probably one of the best like straight up focusing on the kill op teams in the game. The problem is we have a lot of teams that are just kind of ignoring piercing right now, which is literally one of their core rules. So if we see like a rebalance from Marines, I could see Vespids like really rising to the top of the crop. And Farstalker Kinbane are good at what they've always been good at, which is scoring. And I don't think people have like quite realized that like that's a thing you can focus on yet.
Yeah, like I played against Day last weekend, and I was taking the Kazakin out for a stroll, and I got absolutely smashed by her Kinband. Like, not even a shot. I scored 3 points. I killed 3 models and got tabled.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Kroot are not the worst team in the game anymore, which is nice. And let the Kroot players rejoice.
I also think that there's still like a good bit of play with Pathfinders too. I think that they're certainly much worse than they were, but I think that the reduction in the number of objectives is going to help them out a lot.
Yeah, and much worse than they were only brings them down to good.
Exactly. And I actually wanted to, before we start, because we're seeing all these tier lists get released now. Some of the bigger channels are starting to like roll those out slowly. One of the suggestions I saw suggested was that we go to 5 objectives. And I was just curious, just like quick temperature check with y'all. And let's not even like talk about the whole, like, is it actually possible to do that at this point, since they literally printed only 3 objectives for the box? Would that kind of fix the outstanding problems with elite teams, or do you think the problems more lie with the actual elite teams themselves?
I don't think there is an inherent problem with elite teams currently. I do think they are strong. I do think they are competitive. And I do think that people haven't really figured out a good game plan into playing into elites. Because we sort of saw this back when Intercession was dropped. They had big 14 wound elites, and it took a couple months for people to figure out, how do I shoot through 14 wounds in a 3-up save? So I think that like a 5 objective is fine, whatever. I don't think that's going to be the thing that makes or breaks elite teams.
Right. And my thought on this is, so far I like 3 objective play. As somebody who plays mostly like horde and mid-range teams, it doesn't bother me. I like how we're kind of focusing gameplay on certain parts of the board. I think that the change to the number of objectives was just one of many buffs to elites. I mean, elites got buffed all across the board. Like fight twice, shoot twice is a huge killing potential buff. The number of objectives it makes their lack of board control much less of a problem. Obviously, I think in my opinion right now, I think the biggest problem is that their defenses have just been buffed in so many different ways that it's the biggest counterplay of killing them is just much harder to do. But I don't necessarily see changing the number of objectives as the solution to if, in fact, elites are too strong right now to fix it. I could see that being something that they do a year from now in season 2 of Kill Team, the current edition. But I'm kind of in between the two. I think that elites are strong, and although I have only played a few games against them, I don't know if it's too strong or not. I don't really have enough data personally to say so. I'm very interested to see some tournament results. I think we'll have some of those pouring in the next couple weeks.
Yep, NYO's next weekend.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm currently a fan of 3 objectives.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I think the question we're going to be asking a lot today is how deal with Marine, because I think that's kind of the core question that you really need to be asking yourself for competitive play this edition. And I think the teams that are rising to the top of the crop are going to be the ones that are more efficiently dealing with elites, whether through good objective play or like being able to put damage on them, whereas other teams struggle to do so.
Absolutely. So we are going to start our discussion of what we think the best Xenos teams are, where the team in the last edition was one of the best at dealing with elites, and that is the Hearthkin Salvagers. And George, we talked a little bit before the tournament last weekend, and you seem to think that they're really good. I've played a couple games with them, and I think that they've got a lot of like really strong tools right now.
Yeah, I think Salvagers are just a teensy-weensy bit cracked.
Yes. This is a team that I think has, much like in the last edition, they've got very good strengths. They're good at killing things, good at surviving in a gunfight, but they do also have some very clearly defined weaknesses. I think that losing the ability that they got in the last data slate where they can take 1 less damage while they're on objectives in melee, I think that's going to hurt them a little bit. But again, the number of objectives is going to make that kind of play matter just a little bit much. You can just put one of your better melee operatives on those objectives. Move your Thane out there. Your Thane retained its force field, which is now titled the Wave Field Crest. And so you can just ignore the first damage dice of 4 or more while you're in combat. Not always a guarantee, sometimes you'll just roll 1s and 2s, and as Joe and I found out, that can lead to a dead Thane. But Thane,
just roll 5s and 6s. It's not a big deal.
just roll 5s and 6s. It's so easy. A lot of the operatives are very much the same. Medics, very much the same. Dozer, very much the same. Gunners, they are across the board nerfed. The plasma beamer went from AP2 to piercing 1, but it's 5-6 damage now instead of 4-6. The magma rail or the magna rail, I think that's probably the thing that as a former Salvagers player really hurts me the most. Obviously, the damage going from 5-3 mortal wounds 4 to 4-2 devastating 3, that hurts a lot. But also the change to where it used to be unwieldy, so you could do like popcorn plays with the ancestors are watching. Now it's heavy dash only, so once you move to shoot, you're kind of just stuck there out in the wind.
Yeah, the Magna Rail definitely got hit the hardest, and it was already kind of a really hard weapon to use. It's still good. Like, that's the thing with all the gunners, that they're still good. But unless you're stacking accurate, maybe not the Magna Rail. And even if you are stacking accurate, you're less likely to be rolling dice, so you're less likely to roll crits. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can see some play into it, and it's the sort of thing where I would really like to play a game, or more games with salvagers against elites to see if it's the right choice. Like in my game last weekend against Joe, when he played the Night Lords, I didn't take the Magna Rail. I took the Plasma Beamer, I took the rocket launcher, and I took the high las auto rifle with the I don't know if you want to call it the death of the rotary cannon, because the rotary cannon doesn't just natively ignore obscuring anymore. It's still pretty good. It used to be heavy. Now it's heavy reposition only. Ceaseless instead of the old ceaseless, and saturate. So, I mean, in my first game with Salvagers, I put the rotary cannon up against the portable barricade and just like moved it up the board and got some good play with that. So I think that there's still play with a lot of the gunners. It's a little sad to see them lose their AP2 across the board like that, but still having piercing crits 1 on pretty much any operative you want is really good. And I do really like the change to the auto pattern bolter to where it's accurate now. This team is crazy because it's so easy to stack accurate with guns that have accurate baked in. With the locator glow up of the century, guys.
But never forget, Mark, you're still worse than an Inquisition idiot. Why would you want all the AP2 guns when we could just give another team all the AP2 guns without the movement restriction?
I mean, my one complaint is that being able to just ignore one level of piercing makes taking the piercing crits gun just like such a hard choice into the matchups where you really need it.
1000%.
But, that I think that we've kind of bemoaned that enough, and I think that the entire community will be bemoaning the piercing reduction until it's at least addressed in some way or another. So the locator, it doesn't have its pregame movement shut off shenanigans like it used to, which is fine considering that moving on the first turning point is a thing that, or moving before the game is a thing that most teams can't do anymore. Like shush, into the breach, all that stuff has been kind of like moved to be less of a turn 1 deal. I think you can still do it with the into the breach equivalent on.
I think Jaegers are the only ones now, because I think even the into the breach on Deathcore, or that the equivalent ploy you can't use on turn 1.
I think you can use it on turn 1, but I don't think it's as good on turn 1.
Yeah, or something like that. I remember looking at it and going, this is not an auto use like Into the Breach was.
Yeah. But in exchange for that, we've got Spot, which lets you just pick a visible operative, and then all of your operatives within 3, if they're shooting at the target, get Seek Light and Ignore Obscuring. Amazing. Panspectral Scan, drop a token anywhere in the kill zone, creates a 3-inch radius around it that gives you Accurate 1 and Saturate against targets within the bubble. That's incredible. Hop up on Vantage with one of your amazing gunners, and all of a sudden, if you're shooting an operative on Engage, you've just got Accurate 2. And so with some grudge tokens, you're going to get some crits and some hits. It's pretty nutty.
Yeah, just it's grudge tokens, Accurate, and then P1 or everything is so good about Salvagers. Just layer shit up and blow stuff away.
Couple other fun things about the Salvagers. If you have proximate firepower up, all of your operatives are grenadiers throwing grenades that hit on 3s. Love that.
So good.
Plasma knife, everybody getting that, and then using the needs keep ploy to get an extra dice on that on one particular objective. Amazing. A ploy that I haven't really used much, Engage to Acquire, getting relentless while shooting or fighting against an operative that's on an objective marker. Amazing. This is a team that desperately needs a little bit more rerolls, and just having that, really, really good, I think. Also, Writ of Claim, amazing way to manipulate the initiative roll.
Yeah, it's the best initiative roll manipulation in the game.
It seems like it, yeah. So if you add 1 to your result for each objective marker friendly Hearthkin Salvagers contest, and 1 for each objective marker Hearthkin Salvagers control, I mean, that's not a guarantee, but basically adding up to 3 dice is incredible. Or 3 to your dice roll, rather.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Taking up to 6 equipment pieces, if you take the scouting option to take more equipment in addition to the lugger, with as strong as equipment is right now, amazing.
Yeah, I think Salvagers are just a bit cracked. They're not the most cracked team, but once you figure them how to play Salvagers, I think you're going to get a lot of mileage out of them.
See, but why learn to play the game, George, when you can just take 6 Marines and run at your opponent screaming?
It's funny that that's the new starter set, and that's how they want you to learn the game.
Yeah, because
Literally.
I think that that's not going to actually work out for you in the long run when people figure out how to play against Marines. It didn't seem to work out for anyone last edition with Intercessors. So
I think that I have kind of latched onto this identity from the last edition of Hearthkin Salvagers as elite killers, where I think that maybe if that identity isn't quite the core of who they are now, I think that they maintain the identity of really, really strong tools, very, very high potential, very difficult to play though, because the reduced movement does make it difficult to kind of pivot once your initial game plan begins to go awry. Also, moving through doors on Into the Dark with him, kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Like Salvagers, their identity used to be I've got 3 gunners and the grudge tokens. And now I think in this edition, their identity is I have 8 wounds, a 3-up save, and grudge tokens.
Yeah. I will say I'm also a little upset that they lost their equipment that gave them the invuln save. That was like a huge defensive layer for them. And missing that, like, this is a team that I think it wouldn't be the worst if they had access to like a reducing piercing ploy. It's much easier to chew through 8 wounds than it is 14.
Much, yeah. But, 6 operatives. Like, that's one of the things is, 10 operatives versus 6 operatives. Same save. Like, yeah, 8 wounds, you'll get injured more. But your team will stick around probably just as long.
Unless I'm playing Khorne Legionnaire, I run at you screaming, I do 8 damage. Oh no, you're dead.
I think the warriors still retain that damage reduction, right? One of the operatives still retains a damage reduction.
Yeah, the warriors still can reduce damage by one time if they're on an objective.
Yeah, but as long as you don't feed them two dudes to hit in melee, you'll just shoot them later.
Yeah, and I think that in that particular matchup, Relentless Aggression was pretty big. I may be biased saying that just because a friend of the pod, Mark French, was just that's the thing is like salvagers are slow, so you can just charge and then Relentless Aggression a couple times just because everybody hasn't been able to move that far up the board. So I think that it'll be tricky, but I'm not as afraid of like charge, fight, shoot from the butcher as I am from a charge, fight, charge.
Yeah, which cannot happen anymore.
Exactly.
Unless you're Night Lords.
Yeah, but they can't. They have to work a little harder to do 8 damage in a hit.
Well, so you can charge, fight, shoot.
Yeah.
You can't charge, fight, charge.
Correct.
But then, hey, I mean,
charge is the charge dash fight. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, Night Lords are good. Night Lords are very good at killing stuff in melee. We love this about them. So, what do you guys think? Who can hold a candle to the Hearthkin Salvagers amongst their Xenos companions?
Their cousins, the Jaegers, who might just be flat out better in every way.
I think Salvagers are better than Jaegers, but I think Jaegers are really, really good.
Yeah, I would agree.
I've played a few games as Jaegers at the end of the last edition and top of this edition, and I find that they lack the same speed. Into the Dark is a much more difficult game for dwarves because you can't. It's much harder to pivot, but their ability to just sort of dump shooting damage into something, and then the 2 melee guys they have are like enough melee to threaten enough of the board that your shooting becomes more effective. And then the mines are so good.
And the mines got better this edition.
It's one of those things that I often forget how good the mines are because I was playing so much Gellerpox last edition that it's fine. I'll just fly a bug in to destroy the mine. But mines are really good.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. That's a mine, huh? Be a damn shame if you killed absolutely nothing worth killing.
It is a much more oppressive mechanic than I had thought about.
Yeah. I've only got to use Jaegers in Into the Dark so far, where placing a bunch of mines is really, really hard, actually. And I only ever get like 1 or 2 off because I'm terrible and I keep, like, my opponents will set off 3 or 4 mines and 2 of them are duds because I'm stupid. But like, you take 3 damage plus maybe some more, and where you just stop moving. I'll shoot you now with the bombast, thanks.
The Bombast is such a funny model. Like he just the fact that he was the progenitor of like having more than 6 inches on your pistols. And now that like his I mean I think it's 9 inches now for his
Yeah,
pistols
it's
or
still
something.
9 inches.
It's funny to me that it's still 9.
Yeah, right. That they didn't just make it infinite range or something like that.
It's still not the longest range pistol. That's Kommandos.
Well, actually, the Inquisition, they have a 12-inch range pistol.
They have a 12-inch range pistol? Oh, right, the scoped plasma pistol. Yeah, so Inquisition and Kommandos both have 12-inch pistols.
A modest 12 inches, if you
Yeah.
would. So I mean, the Jaegers, everything that was good about them in the last edition, still pretty good, but they've got a couple new tricks. I mean, we've talked already before about how everybody on their team can now do the 4-inch reposition at the start of the game.
Which is so cool.
Which
None of,
effectively solves their movement problem because it's like if you're repositioning 4 inches, what does it matter? You move 5 inches. You've already moved up the board.
Yeah, and the resource points also helps mitigate their slow speed by just like, this guy has 3 APL because I need him to move dash shoot or something. It's very flexible.
much like the Hand of the Archon, like we talked about last week, I really like how their warrior operatives interact with their resourceful points because the warriors can, like, if you use a resource point to add an APL to it, they're still treated as having 1 APL higher for like objective control uh, after they've activated until the start of their next activation.
Which is massive if you're trying to control objectives and stuff like that. And a Marine just can't come and steal it away from you because they have 3 APL and oh no, you've already activated.
Yeah, and since you're forced to take, I think 3 of them in each of your games, it's something that it's strong, and you're going to find a way to work it into your game plan.
Yeah, and in theory, it also could help you do infiltration tac ops, but just take seek and destroy. It's just infiltration's bad.
Infiltration's hard. I played some Brood Brothers yesterday, and I tried to do some infiltration shenanigans, and it didn't go well. I think it was more of a mental mistake than anything. I was just killing so many things. We'll talk about Brood Brothers later, though. We were talking about how with the salvagers, they have a flair for the old grenade equipment. George, you've kind of come to the conclusion that they've got something, sort of reminiscent of how grenades worked in the past as well.
Yeah. No, so the tracker on the Jaegers gives all of his weapons seek light and ignore obscuring within 6 inches, and that includes grenades if you just decide to use a grenade. And then all of his weapons also get punishing if you're attacking a expended enemy operative, and like just roll a crit on your grenade and you turn a miss to a hit. So like 4-up grenades are more reliable in the hands of the tracker than anywhere else on the team. The problem is grenades aren't silent, so you'd have to go on engage. And every other weapon the tracker has is silent.
Yeah, I could see some play with that, especially since you're moving up the board a little bit earlier in the game. I think that you could maybe get somebody who has positioned poorly in one of the strongholds on Vulcus and hit them with a grenade early, and that's going to help you get that crit a little bit easier too from the condensed environment rules. Obviously, that seems like a bit more of an attack of opportunity, but I like the potential there for like some interesting
It's
synergy.
definitely like, this is a big brain move. You would expect me to use my crossbow or throwing axe. Haha, no, I can throw grenades.
So what else is it about the Jaegers that puts them up on this pedestal amongst the best of the Xenos teams?
Their toughness, man. They're
I
tough.
I got one thing for you. 4-4 shotguns.
Those are in fact quite strong.
I don't know what it is about 4-4 shotguns, but I look at a profile that has a 4-4 shotgun and it activates neurons in my brain.
Insert monkey noise.
But
To your
I mean,
point, Joe, I do think that the toughness is like a huge component of the team.
Like it fucks up every breakpoint in the game. If you have 4 more damage, like especially in melee, you're not going to kill them unless the ploy is not down. And then also I'd like to point out They still retained their super conceal ploy, which is insane, especially considering we're in a spot where you can get a barricade that ups your save, so you can literally move up with no consequences on one of your potentially melee guys, turn on super conceal, and now this person's saving on 3s and cannot be shot. So pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it's always been good. I have found out repeatedly that the tough ploy, in fact, does not give a shit if you are using bolter damage. And as we pointed out, Space Marines are the team that a lot of people will be playing. So we're going to be seeing a lot of bolter damage. So that's not actually as impressive as it used to be, just because we're going to see a lot of bolters around. It's still going to be powerful for like Nemesis Claw, who are going to try and get their hands around your neck. But any like Phobos, they laugh at you and double shoot you and don't care. I think Angels of Death will do the same. They'll laugh at you and shoot you twice and
Well, it'll come up in that
call you
matchup
a nerd.
because that matchup it'll matter because the Stalker Bolt Rifle is becoming the meta for them. And having that lethal 5 damage will matter.
Yeah, but isn't it also piercing 1 too?
Yes. So basically, it's going to depend on people run them because one of the chapter tactics can give them saturate and severe. So basically, piercing crits basically reads this gun is AP1 if you take the correct chapter tactic.
Yeah, severe piercing 1 crits with 5 damage. Like, I think that's probably because it takes away a defense dice and you only get 2 defense dice at that point on 4 up. You're still probably going to get dumpstered by Stalker bolt rifle shooting.
Yeah, it likely, but everybody. This is the question we keep coming into of how kill Marine, and I think the mines are going to be a big thing into that.
Mines are huge.
I think honestly, people I know it's like, oh, well, the shotguns. The shotguns, surprisingly, and this is coming from scouts, I actually ran the math. If you catch a Marine out on 14 wounds in the open and pump them with 2 full bursts of 4/4 shotguns, you will likely kill them with rerolls. And Jaegers have good amount of rerolls. Same with scouts. I will say scouts are hitting 1 better, so that probably changes the math a little bit. But you will maim a Marine if you can get 2 bursts of shotgun rounds into them.
Yeah, and Jaegers have a breach and clear ploy, so they can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the knife guy on the team, who he's just shockingly devastating. He probably won't kill a Marine before he dies, but he can hit on death anyway. So, like, that could still, you run the knife guy up at a full health Marine, shank him, get a couple crits in, hit him. If you get 2 crits, 2 hits, and they don't parry you out, you're killing him even on death.
Yeah, just bear in mind, dear viewer, do not do this into the Chosen for Legionnaire, because they will just heal. And also the Sorcerer on Legionnaire, they will just heal. So
they've got other good tools to deal with elites too. They've got a piercing 1 sniper,
which is so good. It's so good.
I mean, just being able to pump through, like, say, a minimum of 6 damage, 9 if you get a crit, really, really strong, obviously.
It's so strong.
Their gunner, 5 dice, AP1, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, they have a good gunner. Again, the shotguns, you can take enough of them. The Bombast with lethal 5 ceaseless can do a shocking amount of damage to a Space Marine.
Especially if it shoots and then the turn starts and you get to go ahead and shoot again.
Yeah, I played against Jaegers as Legionary, and the Bombast did a minimum of 8 damage every time it shot.
Which will severely maim any Marine in the game.
Kills anything in 2 attacks. And that wasn't even like I was rolling like doo-doo and my opponent was rolling really good. That was like average roll. I take 8 damage, I guess.
Yeah, I think Jaegers are definitely going to be in the top of the actual pile in general because of just how efficient they are. I think they're actually pretty good at killing elites overall. Being able to get 3 APL to contest objectives against Marines is really strong. Like I said, their straight up toughness will hurt melee breakpoints in particular.
Yeah.
And I mean, just having 10 bodies on top of that, like 10 bodies that like there's not a useless operative on this team. I know that's like a bare minimum, but you really, when you think about it, like each model really does what it does very well and is very efficient at doing so, which is like the cornerstone of any solid kill team.
Yeah, I think Jaegers are very good.
Absolutely.
And
George,
another team. Mhm.
before we move on, I would love to get your thoughts on this because you started this particular part of the conversation by saying that you think salvagers are better than them. Why do you
Oh
think that
yeah.
is?
Because salvagers are actually cracked and Jaegers are just good. Like I played a few games as Jaegers. I played games against Jaegers. They're good. They're pretty good. They might be very good. But I think if you can figure out how to layer salvager buffs and like which take accurate or piercing crits, which gunners to take, and which gunners to drop, even if you want to take extra warriors and stuff, I think salvagers have more flexibility and more opportunities to play the mission and play their tac op, while Jaegers are sort of stuck with kill op and then seek and destroy, which they're kind of meh at because they're not doing overrun. They're too slow. They could get storm objective, and they're not getting champion because they have really struggle with double kill potential. So like salvagers just score better, while I think Jaegers are a little killier into most things. I think salvagers just play the game better.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about it in the context of, being able to play all parts of the game, tac op included.
Yeah. I think Jaegers sort of got hamstrung by their attack ops because they've got infiltration, which is all bad. And like you could score implant a bunch, but then you're not killing anything, and Jaegers are good at killing stuff. So you can either score or kill, and like I would rather kill to make pulling the crit op easier. And then you could do storm objective. Like they're pretty decent at storm objective. But yeah, that's like their only tac op really. While salvagers have, correct me if I'm wrong, they've got recon and seek and destroy.
They've got security and
Oh, so they
recon.
have confirm kill, which is the best tac op in the game. You can also do, you can surprisingly salvagers can do plant beacon because of the jump pack, dude. And then security is really good for dwarves. You just take the one where it's keep your opponent out of your territory, and just like these guys, I just turn on proximate firepower. You walk up, I'll get within 6, I'll blow you away. And like I don't need to move up the board. I just need to keep you out of my territory, and I just max this.
Absolutely. And having access to secure center on a map that like really supports that play style can also just be easy
Yeah.
points.
Like if Jaegers had security, I think they'd be better than salvagers, but they're stuck with infiltration.
I will disagree with George here. I think Jaegers are just faster, and I think that matters more long term. Particularly when we talk about like these mixed formats with Gallo Dark. I think Salvagers are pretty weak on Gallo Dark, purely because getting through doors is such a pain in the ass for them. And the way that like Jaegers mitigate that is getting access to APL3. And the fact that you can get that across multiple models and kind of deal with your biggest issue in terms of movement, like especially with the reposition, is one of the few things I think they really shine on compared to salvagers. Salvagers are just better at killing straight up, and maybe going into an elite meta, that's what you need. But I do think that, and I will say this is based on limited experience, I think they're going to really, really struggle on the Gallo Dark, and even Beta Decima. I think if that becomes a thing again, if people start putting it in mixed formats.
Well, shout out dwarves, man. I'm so happy we're talking about dwarves because I know that there are many people out there who like to shit on dwarves. And dwarves are going to have their day in the sun, let me tell you.
Yeah, they just need to claw them way out of the shit.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, and I honestly, like, I know we don't necessarily talk about lore a lot on this channel, but I think they've done a great job with the Leagues of Votann in general, and both of these teams are very flavorful. People always make the rock and stone joke, but I do think that legitimately, like, if you read the books for the kill team, like, these guys have a lot of like really fun flavor to them, and offer a lot of like hobbying flexibility in terms of painting and a lot of story that can be had with them.
To that point, I've never seen a Votann model that wasn't like awesome. Even George's. I really like George's.
Thanks, I guess.
They're certainly one of your best painted teams.
No, but seriously, both my Salvages and Jaegers are some of my better painted teams.
Could you say the same about your Brood Brothers?
Well, probably
Mark.
not.
Let me answer this question for you. Have you seen the monstrosity that is his patriarch?
Oh, it's so
Look,
good.
I mean, I know that it's a team that has one of his favorite models. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, it's mostly no, because it's actually a team comprised of models from other teams that I painted before I figured out the wrong primer brand.
Yeah, it's mostly like you're blooded, right?
Yeah, it's mostly my blooded, a couple of Chaos Cult models. And I just used bad primer at the time, and so they're all like kind of shitty.
But I don't think that Brood Brothers themselves are shitty.
No, I think Brood Brothers are one of the top 3 Xenos teams. Great segue there.
Yeah, no, they are. They truly are. I mean, let's be honest. They were probably the best team leaving this last edition.
They were very good. I don't know about best, but very good. Definitely up there.
Yeah.
And like the things that have changed about them are a lot less than the things that have not changed. Like their Firefly ploys and strategy ploys didn't change. Technically, the idolization got a little nerf, but it's fine. And then they got a strategy ploy called Cult Devotion, which is just I can strike on death, which is really strong when it's your entire team. So, like, you know, all their ploys are still amazing. Their equipment is also kind of amazing. Covert Guise is back. You get D3 instead of, buying 3 of them and then something else. You can buy cult knives for everyone, which is good, because before it was just like, do I buy a cult knife or a las pistol? I don't know. Lookout is now an equipment instead of a tactical asset, which is really, really good, because it happens in the strategic gambit. You just pick someone to get crossfire, and then the what's his name? The commander also gets that ability. So just hand out 2 crossfire tokens in the strategic gambit, and then think about your ploys. It's like the team has mostly just stayed the same. The veteran got a buff. She doesn't have a damage. She doesn't have a role for her Feel No Pain. She just has damage reduction. So, like, technically, the team lost the lookout, reinforcement, and whatever, and the -1 APL tactical asset. Those don't exist anymore.
I think you also can't ignore the nerf indirectly to the Patriarch and to the Primus, where they no longer hit on 2s. They got the leader tax.
Yeah. It's not so much a big deal for the Patriarch. He's just got Relentless. So, like,
Yeah.
as a long-time Hive Fleet player, I can tell you the average roll on 5 dice, 3-up, Relentless Rending is 2 crits, 3 hits.
Love that. Love that.
Hey, George, you want to know what, though? The Screecher is even more threatened to him now because you can't reroll.
I mean, listen, I'm terrible, and just because I'm good at rolling a bunch of 1s, it doesn't mean that other people will.
I know, but it's just there's a funny scenario in which the Screecher now charges this guy. You roll a bunch of 1s and 2s, and the Patriarch basically goes, ooh?
And the other thing is, if you decide that, 1 Magus is enough for you, or 1 Primus is enough for you, or even hell, 2 Psychic Familiars is enough for you, whatever you don't use out of those 3 options, you just pick a strategic ploy, and that's just, you get it for free for the rest of the battle. Like, or is it any ploy?
I think it's any ploy, so that could be a free...
any ploy. Hell yeah. Just free Ruthless Coordination for the entire battle. Free Idolization for the entire battle. Free Uprising for the entire battle. I would take Ruthless Coordination and Idolization almost every time.
I gotta say, though, I do like Pervasive a lot on Vulcus with all of the 2-inch climbs.
Yeah.
Just a lot of extra movement.
But, like, that's really strong. Is it as strong as only choosing, like, a Magus and nothing else? I don't know. Probably
Certainly going to
not.
be a question to ask depending on the activation count of your opponent.
Yeah, because, like, the team has so many good ploys, and they don't really have a. I don't think they have any CP generation. Um, they
Outside
have.
of the Primus, of course.
Uh, yeah, he still got his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still got his thing. Yeah, it's like it's gonna be. I mean, maybe there's a build where you go Primus and then you pick like Idolization or Ruthless Coordination to be free, and you just use all the ploys all the time. That might
Mhm.
be a cool thing.
I definitely like that. The idea then is that your Primus can just like move up the board and take a lot of silent shots until it's ready to like charge out and fight somebody. And then it's going to be in the thick of it. So in a good position for when, your other operatives who are out sort of midfield need to benefit from idolization, etc. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I
I,
did that a lot at Nova. I pulled the Primus out, and it was just like, yeah, I'll just sit in the back and silent sheet at whatever I want with Ruthless Coordination, and then just
yeah.
buy the CP back.
So I played a game as Brood Brothers yesterday, and I took the Magus, and having the floating stun ended up being a very interesting thing because I got like a clump of people who kind of moved up towards my base, and my Magus in Turning Point 2 was still just kind of hanging back. So I used my stun grenade, stunned both of them, mind blasted one of them, or rather mental onslaughted one of them, and then used my telepathic overload to -1 APL on the other side of the board.
Oh, so many stuns, so much stun.
It was crazy.
I love the Magus. I think he's absolutely amazing. I think all three leaders on this team are actually amazing. Even the commander, all four leaders, they're all really good. And they all have their place.
Definitely. And the psychic familiars, I like them a lot too because the operative who I stunned with the Magus using its telepathic overload ability was on the midboard objective, so I was able to charge my psychic familiar up and secure it back.
Yeah, because elusive lets you just do mission actions inside engagement range, which was a moot ability last edition, but is very powerful now.
A couple things that I noticed about this team that I really like. If you take pervasive, you can get up to second floor vantage on turning point 1 on some maps.
Interesting.
If you and that may just be like a because we were playing generic open board map 1 but with focus terrain, so that may have been bad map construction, but there is definitely potential there.
I think if you use ladders in the right way, I think you can pretty much guarantee that.
I think that the nerf to the dynamite is warranted, but I like how instead now it has heavy reposition only. And so that's going to open up a little bit more play for it early on. It's also going to open up your Vox operator to give other operatives the +1 APL more easily, since you're not going to have to move and then spend 2 APL to throw your dynamite.
Yeah, yeah, and you might actually use explosives. Like
Yeah.
I literally never used explosives unless it was a cheeky, oh, you killed me, I'm gonna do explosives now, and put my marker down.
Overall, I think this team's awesome. As a Vet Guard enjoyer, this is a team I'm excited to play in the new edition, especially because I like painted them up and just like hardly played them in the last edition. I just want to charge shit with my Patriarch.
Dude, it's team is very fun. Agitator is shockingly effective.
Best icon bearer in the game.
Best icon bearer in the game.
The
I mean,
Legionary
Legionary
one-
has a pretty good icon bearer
Yeah,
now.
I don't know which one to give it to. I'm gonna make it a tie. I think they're both the best icon bearers in the game
For different reasons.
because they're both absolutely cracked.
And Mark, I'm realizing this now. You're kind of my dark mirror. You love hordes and I love elites.
I do love hordes. I mean, that's part of it is just because I've been a Marine hater. I had no reason to like Marines in the past, and haven't really been a big lore buff until the last, let's say, 6 months or so. But I've been working my way through the Horus Heresy, and I love the new Plague Marines, or rather the re-released Plague Marines that are coming out in the new starter set. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited to just give elites a try. I think that the idea of playing a shorter game because I don't have as many activations, love that.
Dude, 45-minute game, chef's kiss.
It is crazy watching people like start packing up while I'm finishing up Turning Point 1.
It's pretty fun. Listen, man, whatever makes you happy is whatever makes you happy. Like 4-4 shotguns makes me smile every time I see that profile. Can't tell you why.
I do also love just like being underestimated in some ways, in the sense where it's like, oh, they're hitting on fours. Well, if you roll all 4, 5s, and 6s, hordes are great.
Yeah. Or if you just have lookout tokens everywhere.
Lookout tokens. I think this is a team that, like, I took the ammo crate and actually, I would have gotten a good opportunity to use it, but I rolled well without it both times.
So yeah, it's just the ammo crate's an insurance policy. That's what it is.
For sure. So we've got Brute Bros, we got Salvagers, we got Jaegers. I like those as a top 3 for Xenos. Do we want to talk about anybody else? Because like we said, I think that there are a lot of strong Xenos teams.
Yeah. I think a nice honorable mention is Kommandos, still strong, still charged from Conceal.
Very, very similar playstyle to how they've been in the last edition.
Very similar. Knob got 3 APL, cause
12-inch severe stun gun from the comms is incredible.
So funny.
And he's just like an executioner now too, because you can just guarantee 2 mortal wounds almost.
Yeah.
I mean, sure you can whiff, but it's hard to whiff, I think, with that many dice.
Yeah, it's real hard to whiff with that many dice. And then, yeah, the Sniper Boy lost a dice, but he gained 1 damage on both his normal and crit. So, like, kind of a wash. Actually, no, he has more damage potential now. So, technically, a buff. The Rocket Boy gained a dice but lost Piercing 1, which I think is technically a nerf, because Piercing 1 is like just having an extra hit anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a wash, right?
Kind of a wash. I think Kommandos, still good, still strong.
I think I like the new WA better too, because I played a game. My first game of Kill Team 2024 was as Kommandos, and having that reroll was really, really nice.
WA is just balanced in melee, right?
Yeah, instead of effectively before it was severe. Not really severe.
It was like budget severe, because you needed 2 or more hits to turn 1 to upgrade 1.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually better.
I think so too.
I would take severe over balanced, but like now that everyone who doesn't have come with a basically the entire team is not melee specialist, which is weird coming from Kommandos. You have to buy your choppas on most everyone, and you only get three dice on 3s. So like I think balanced ends up being more useful than severe in those cases.
Yeah. My thought, I really like the choppas going on everybody now, because it just makes all of your gunners at least somewhat viable in melee. If an Aquilon's dropping close to you, you can kind of hit them with the old surprise Aruni when you just charge up with your Sniper Boy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, that's real close. I guess I'll just charge you with this Burno Boy.
I also think that they have like really good play in infiltration with the Grot.
Yeah, Grot just scores infiltration. Like, gather surveillance, that's what the Grot does. The Burno Boy got a buff. He can do Seek Light on, or is it just Seek with one of his profiles?
It's Seek Light with your Flamer if you're within 4
but it's still
inches.
A Flamer that has Seek. It's so good.
I think it retains Saturate too.
I think it does. I remember it being really good.
It kind of bothers me how not every Flamer has the Deluge ability, because it still just makes Flamers not as good as the other choices.
Yeah, but at least it's now not useless either. Like, Flamers were always the worst choice and unlikely to kill a guardsman, which felt bad.
Now it at least has a chance to kill a guardsman.
Yeah, and any team that wants to like stick to cover it's useful against, like Kinband, Brood Bros with Embedded. It's like there are use cases for flamers now where before there just weren't.
Yeah. Overall, I think that Kommandos are going to be a fantastic team in the new edition.
Yep. And then I think another honorable mention is Hyrotech Circle.
Yeah, this is a team that I would love to just talk to more people in our community because we have a couple higher tech players between Necron Nick and Daniel and Zach as well. This is a team that I'm really interested in. I love the new death marks. Just seek everything after you shoot somebody.
I'm so happy that death marks have a goddamn ability. They were so bad before. Now they're quite good.
We've moved past the token death mark into a world where it's actually a choice.
Yeah, I've decided that I want to play the hold them back because I think they had security and recon. So, like, I've taken 4 death marks or 3 death marks and the Despotech or whatever, and I'm just going to stay in my side of the board. I'm going to shoot stuff with death marks, and then when I shoot stuff with death marks, I can just shoot them again with any death mark. And I'm just going to do that.
I also think that, like, the death mark, I think the Tesla carbine still has some play for immortals, but if you just look at, like, the Gauss blaster was like, everybody was taking immortals with Gauss blasters in the last edition. But the death mark, their disintegrator, 4 dice on 2s, 4/3, dev 2, heavy dash, piercing 1, severe. That's a really good gun.
Yeah,
That hits on 2s.
Is really good.
And you could take 5 of them if you really wanted to, right?
Yeah,
4. Do you have to take the Apprentech?
You do not have to take the Apprentech, but the Apprentech is good enough where you kind of do. So, like, you have the Bug, the Cryptech, the Bug, and then 5 bodies that can be all death marks if you want, but you kind of want the Apprentech, you kind of want the Despotech, so you're going to end up with 3 death marks, which I think is fine.
Yeah, I think so. I do like the Immortals ability when they're just always treated as 3 APL on objectives.
It's really good. Like all of the operatives on Hyrotech are just good.
I like the new Reanimate. I also think that as somebody who's played against them, the thing that was like silly and probably not like a big deal was the way that bugs were just, mission action machines. And I like how that's not like their identity anymore. Like they're fully utility.
Don't they have restrictions on what actions they can do now? I remember reading that. I could be absolutely talking out of my ass though.
They can still do mission actions. They cannot perform unique actions that aren't their
Oh,
own
yeah, that was
particular
it.
thing.
Yeah, they can't use smoke and stun grenades.
Which
Right.
would be silly.
I don't know, man. I would love to see a little bug farting about.
Oh, don't worry. The Chaos Anointed will be still using stuns and cracks, even though he's in the demon mode.
So funny. I didn't even think about that. That's so good.
Yeah, why he's allowed to also shoot still is we keep coming back to this, but anyway.
But yeah. So I think that pretty much wraps up our conversation on Xenos. The other thing that we could talk about is we just started our last league for the quarter this week, and I unfortunately have not gotten my game in. I'm going to be playing it as soon as we stop recording.
Nice. What are you playing against? And what are you going to play?
I'm playing Hand into Kommandos.
Oh, wow. That'll be a fun bloodbath.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what that's like.
I played Hand of the Archon into Phobos. Taylor, he was playing his Phobos, his Alpha Legion Phobos, which I love very much.
Love his models.
Going into this, I was feeling pretty confident. I think that Hand are very good elite killers. That extra inch of movement basically negates Phobos's biggest advantage over other Marines. And it kind of went exactly the way I thought it would. The Flare is silly. Flare is a very, very silly model.
Always has been.
The fact that I was like, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and charge this Reaver. His knife is now 3/4. Unless he rolls 2 crits, and I am extraordinarily unlucky and don't roll any crits with lethal 5, I'm either going to severely injure him or kill him outright. he rolled 3 hits, and I rolled 4. So, well, sorry, I re-rolled into 4 because of the ceaseless on the flare, and killed a full health marine with the reaver, and then gained 2 pain tokens. So, and then immediately healed him back up to full, which was
That's
very
nutty.
dumb. And then also the blaster being able to give him a pain token, and he can just move 10 inches from the other side of the board and just absolutely just smoke a marine was wild. The bird guy actually weirdly put in a lot of work, being able to ignore obscuring whenever he would smoke himself, and just being able to like drop mortal wounds onto a marine was really, really good. Also, the bird just having Seek is just fucking stupid. I don't know why we allowed that, because it basically just says, okay, I'm gonna from Darkness Death guarantee a crit. And if you give him the pain token to start off with, you can give the bird ceaseless.
Isn't it just Seek Light though?
No, the bird has just Seek, but it is 5 dice on 4s, 1/2 damage.
Right, but that's my point.
It's still not great.
Right, but my point is it becomes significantly better when you give it the new ceaseless. And because
significantly better.
Yes, because means you're probably hitting at least 3 dice, and one of those is becoming a crit. So it means you're doing 2 damage on a marine. Phobos in particular puts him at 10 wounds. That puts all of your your good melee guys within 2 tap range. Also, something really silly that happened, and George, we talked about this on the side, and it did happen. A warrior was able to kill a full health marine with 3 APL. It was really, really fucking stupid. So I took the splinter rifle. He had a marine out. He stole my objective from me. I gave it the extra damage. So 3/4 lethal 5. Shot. Did about, I think, 4 damage. Yeah, I did 4 damage. And then I took my rending knives with lethal 5. Charged. Got a bunch of crits because it was rending and from Darkness Death. And I was alive on 4 wounds. It was so dumb. Like, the fact that this...
Can you heal yourself with a pain token after that?
Yes, you can, and
Wow.
I did.
No, well, no, because you can't double up on invigorations except for stimulated senses, which
I did, but I didn't. But I didn't do.
You said you had 3 APL.
No, I had it for. Oh no, I'm sorry. You're right. I didn't. No, sorry, I didn't do the heal. I did the heal on the flare because the flare wasn't at 3 APL.
I gotcha.
The warrior was on 3, the warrior had extra. I was thinking he had an extra pain token because I'd given him the pain token to start off with, because obviously he gets it for free whenever somebody else gets one.
Yeah, but you could heal on any counteract. So
yeah, because he was alive on. I remember now. He was alive on 3 wounds, and he was alive the rest of the game because by that time I had killed 3 marines. I think the flare killed a reaver. I baited him with the. With one of my guys, I put one right on the point, and he immediately charged and fought him. And I was like, okay, I just take the Dark Lance and go pew, and there you go. That was 2 points on champion. Like, it's the fact that like Hand of Archon can trade so well into Marine. Now, bear in mind, I think this is a much worse matchup if it's Legionnaire or Warp Coven, because they ignore one of those piercing. I will say the Dark Lance is still like insane in that matchup because it's just the damage is 6/7. But yeah, I took champion. I only missed 1 point on it because I was too efficient at killing, or missed 2 points on it because I was too efficient at killing, and just kind of maxed out everything else. It was also Taylor's first game back, so big thing there. And yeah, his conclusion after that game was elves are a little too fast, and I might agree with him. Like, let's put it this way. So I had the blaster near the door on one of the Vulcus maps. The fact that I was able to move 6 inches, because obviously you're ignoring because you get through the door, 6 inches, and then with the extra AP, like 9 inches, and I completely flanked the Marine who was hiding behind heavy and just shot him and put him on 4 wounds. Like, yeah, that Marine's likely going to kill the blaster, but it doesn't matter. That Marine's on 4 wounds. What is he doing? You know? Any warrior on the team can kill him now with a blade. I don't know. I really liked playing hand a lot. That 7 inches is just so addicting, dude. It's kind of wild how
Why do you
addicting.
think that was my drug of choice in the last edition?
and I've been thinking a lot of like, because I really want to like dial down onto a team. I'm thinking, well, it's gonna depend on who my opponent is next week. But I might just like fluctuate between Hand and Nemesis Claw for the moment, which I know is very funny because they're two very like in lore similar teams. Which
Bit of
says
a
something
similar
about
playstyle too, I'd say.
yes, they do. And I'm not sure if it says something about me emotionally, but anyway.
I think it's okay to have like a consistent playstyle. I think that's
No,
just
no, no.
you as a
I'm
player.
saying like they both love to take skin off people and wear them. Is my point. So I don't know if that says something about me mentally.
Yeah, it's fine, Jeffrey Dahmer. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I know, and it doesn't help even more than my old Discord name was Skin Enjoyer as a joke. But
Joke.
anyway, yeah, joke. Yeah, definitely don't love wearing skin.
Wink, nudge, nudge.
Definitely not Buffalo Bill over here. Anyways,
And Mark, how was your game?
So I played yesterday. I played against the Aquilons. I played Brood Brothers. That was, I think, my second game ever with Brood Brothers and first in the new edition. Really, really fun game. As somebody, again, I played a lot of Edgard in 2023. And so I really like the play style of Brood Brothers. I think the thing that really stood out to me was just the individual power in each unit is still just so strong on that team.
Yes. Yeah, it's shocking how as a horde team, you can sort of just pick one model and go, this guy will get what I need to get done. And like, that's not how horde teams usually play.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the tools on the team are just really, really good. I think, like I mentioned during your breakdown of them earlier, Pervasive on Volkis was just really, really strong, especially in the first turning point to position yourself where you want to be. I loved the lookout equipment. I loved pretty much everything about this team. I think the one thing that really stood out to me was it was just I had so much fun playing the team, and I didn't ruthless coordination once. I didn't even get to use their most fun and game breaking rule at all. I was just running around, shooting and fighting, and pumping mortal wounds into people with the Magus. It was just awesome.
Dude, ruthless coordination is the best way to take that first shot with a sniper. You can get
Yeah,
dumb, silly shots off with that thing.
yeah, I get that. The new cult talisman ended up being like really clutch for me in certain parts of the game. Just being able to turn a regular save into a crit save definitely saved a couple models when they shouldn't have lived. I think a couple things that stood out to me about Aquilons in that game is just on those hot dog style deployments where it's really easy to get up to the mid board. They are just scary. He was able to drop units directly into my stronghold on turning point 2, which I ended up getting a big blast on some of those guys with my dynamite, but the threat was just huge. Like I couldn't take shots with my plasma because he was just going to be able to drop his sentry turret in there and just absolutely rain hellfire on it. I have taken utility grenades in 2 games before this game that I played yesterday and have forgotten to use them each time. But yesterday I used them, and utility grenades are amazing. Love smoke, love stun. I think the things that I'm looking forward to in my next game are I'm probably going to play a different team, but I'm still excited to play more Brood Brothers. I'm definitely starting to remember more of the rules in 3rd edition, but it's going to be a while because I took my shot with my sniper, my silenced shot from 2nd floor vantage, and I rolled 3 ones, and I'm like, wait, I was shooting an operative who was on engage. I should have just retained 2 hits. But, we'll get there. We'll get there. The old brain
Just
piece will.
repetition in practice.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm not sure if picking a new team each week is going to be the best thing for me because, obviously I think that like a new player, you want to play the same thing to sort of get the core mechanics memorized before you start like branching out. But, I'm just, we're playing some fun team right now. I'm willing to
Yeah, what are you
fool
doing
around.
picking a
And
new team each week? step off. That's my shit.
Mark, stop having fun.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably, like you said, you should not do that, but as a non-monogamous kill team enjoyer, it's just not in me. Can't do it.
I'm not sure how I feel about you describing it that way.
Tell me I'm wrong, though.
My guess is that I'll probably play either Brood Bros or Salvagers next week, and then hopefully in the next week or two after that, I'll have either some Plague Marines to play, or I'll have finished up my Inquisition.
Yeah,
And then nobody will play you ever again because nobody will want to play you.
I'll play your Inquisition. I'll use my Inquisition. We'll do another
Oh
match.
God. Talk about a miserable fucking matchup.
Brother, as much as everybody was cheering for my downfall in the last league, I'm going to play whatever I want. Nobody wants to play against me anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
no, that's not true. I've never not had fun playing you.
You also weren't actively cheering for me to lose on Discord, so I appreciate you, Joe.
Mark, as somebody who has also gone undefeated in the league, you just have to make up for it by being incredibly charismatic, and people can't help but enjoy playing a game with you, and then they feel real bad. Like Andy said, I hate playing against George. He kicks my ass, and I feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have the Riz. That's the problem. I'm gonna have to.
I don't have the Riz.
Gonna have to build that one up.
Just gotta keep going.
I'll spend an equipment point on that if I could.
Yeah, put a little gravel in your voice, you know.
Yeah, maybe I'll pick up smoking.
Daddy's coming home.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Vox Scream. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Please follow, subscribe, and leave us a review. Any of those things are going to help us grow. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back soon with another episode.